Hello, my name is Anthony Keller, and I'm that deacon on YouTube. October 11th, we celebrated the 11th celebration of National Coming Out Day at St. Luke's Episcopal Church, Long Beach. The service is sponsored by the GLBT ministry of St. Wilfrid of York, Huntington Beach, named EFLAGS, Episcopal Fellowship of Lesbians, Gays, and Straights. And then our co-sponsors are the GLBTQ ministry of St. Luke's, Long Beach. We also had help from a Roman Catholic GLBT group named Comunidad. And music was provided by choir master Christopher Gravis and his choir from St. Wilfrid of York. I was hoping to share some audio and video from the service, but unfortunately with my camera, the sound quality was not very good. So at the end of this video, I will present a video montage with one of the anthems sung at our service. One of the most important aspects of our coming out service is the witness of three different people who share their story about the coming out process and their faith. Over the years, I found it important to include parents and siblings in the service because those lives are affected as well. And their witness is very important because there are still probably people attending that have fears, still sharing their honesty and their life with their parents or brothers or sisters. So having these people speak, especially if it's a positive message, is one that helps encourage growth among people attending and maybe will change their perception as to how fear is preventing them from moving on. This year we had three fabulous speakers. Our first speaker is a Roman Catholic mother of 4 children, but one of their children is a lesbian and their son is gay. She talked about her pain, not so much from accepting who her children were, but how their church is unable to recognize them as fully human and fully as children of God. Our second speaker was a mother, and she came from PFLAGS, and she shared about her child, age 7 or 8, who was born biologically a male, but over time has more and more identified as a female. And she has every hope in the future that her child will be able to live her life as a fully integrated human being, not torn by this process of gender confusion. Our third speaker was a woman from St. Mark's, Glendale, the Episcopal Church in Glendale, California. And she talked about being raised in Oklahoma by a father who served in the military, very close-minded and very stuck on tradition. And it talked about her faith as she tried to get involved in different churches because she felt she had a ministry to share out in the world that would express her faith, but none of the regular denominations would accept her. But eventually she landed in the Episcopal Church and is doing fine work. In fact, she's one of our volunteers with Laundry Love that we do each month out in Tahunga, California. We have 3 members of the clergy that have done the service with us over the years. We've also had 2 of our bishops suffragan preside at the service. This year, besides myself, we had the rector of my church, the Reverend Amy Pringle, help lead the service. And we also had Ricardo Avila from St. Luke's Episcopal Church also join us. And Ricardo gave the homily, which was a wonderful triad of experiences, starting when he was 16 years old and going up through adulthood, where he literally came out in the Roman Catholic confessional and shared the various responses. But he eventually found out, as many do, that churches have their dogma, but God has their freedom. He also quoted from our reading that I chose this year, which is, I used the Message Bible for many of these services, and it was a section from Romans written by Paul, where he talks about not repaying evil with evil, and not being a part of the status quo, thinking that now that you've got freedom, and now that you've found God, you can just rest easy and sit comfortable in your daily life. One of the things of our service as we have moved forward over the years, and especially in California, where equal marriage is now the law, and through the gracious response of our bishop, churches are allowed to bless same-sex unions. So we felt it was an important message to send to the 130 people who were there, that now is the time to take your remembrance of your brokenness and your struggle, and then use that empathy to go out and help other people who are trying to realize their sense of justice and freedom in the world. It was the perfect message for this year. Thank you, Ricardo. After the service is done, I always reflect and go into discernment, wondering if this service is still needed, especially since certain civil rights have been gained. And at least within the Episcopal Church, the arguments and the fears of same-sex marriage have been laid to rest. But then I listen to some of the stories. I think of our two mothers who come from different traditions, who still struggle to have their denominations accept their children as fully human. And it makes me think that our work within the Episcopal Church, reaching out to others, is not yet over. If I didn't have a service like this once a year, those individuals and people from other denominations that are not supported would not have a chance to hear people within a church representing God's kingdom on earth say to them, "You are fine, you are good, you are fully human, you are whole. Now get out there in the world and make a difference in a loving, compassionate way." So now I'd like to share with you a video montage of images from our service. And until next month, God bless.